Minnesota Vikings 2022 rosters. This roster is a lot better. They have hope this year. Mike Zimmer's no longer the head coach as well. Let's get right into it. And as always, welcome back to the Fun and Mo. Hope you guys enjoy. Like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy. Whatever. New England Patriots plays Malcolm Butler injured reserve. This dude is kind of washed up, if we're gonna be honest. So yeah. But the Packers, Aaron Rodgers receives bust or anger by Nicolas Cage. Yeah, he could be a bust, but he won't be because he's Aaron Rodgers. And he's mad with this receiving corps mistakes. No offense, this Packers receiving corps. I don't think it's the worst in the league, but it's pretty dog crap. I'll be honest with you on that. But it could be worse. So yeah, but Aaron Rodgers is gonna have to make do. That's kind of just the truth about it. Time for this Minnesota Vikings 2022 roster grades. Let's get right into it. Okay, of course, the quarterback, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, he's kind of a debate. Love him or hate him. He's fringe top 10. He's not better than Kyler Murray, but I do think he could be better than Derek Carr. You could debate all three of those guys, but those guys are the guys outside the top 10. Or 11, whatever you want to say. 32 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's been elite. He was elite last year in terms of the stats. But, of course, he's never been that great of a winning quarterback. He's only won one playoff game. But, in my opinion, in the big moments, he does win. Like, he can win. He's not great, but he can win. He's a game manager, obviously. His statistics do support that he's a really, really good quarterback. He is a really good quarterback. I agree with that. But he just doesn't win when at the biggest times. Like, he was elite last year in terms of PFF grade. I agree with that a lot. Here's the one problem. If Kirk Cousins can just win more games and, like, not make big mistakes at sometimes, he could be really good. Like, he's just really good already, but, yeah. Sean Mannion, not the worst back in the world. He was kind of stunk in the game he played. It was against Green Bay, though. Kellen Mond, of course, he's kind of a mess so far. He's really struggled with accuracy, like, a ton, and ball placement has never been a strength of his, and I just don't love him as prospect right now. And his speed just doesn't really look to be great in training camp as well, and if you see the film about him, you'll watch that as well. But Kellen Mond, Sean Mannion are the backups. Kellen Mond probably will be a backup again. But Kirk Cousins, people just overhate on him way too much. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. That's just the truth. Okay, grading Kirk Cousins, B+. I'm on a higher end for Kirk Cousins. He's not an elite quarterback by any means. Definitely doesn't get A tier. But I think he's in the same tier as Kyler Murray and Derek Carr, so he gets a B+. That's just my opinion on it. Comes out to a 24 out of 30, which is fair because he's not a liability at the position. He gets the job done really well. Okay, now we'll get to the running back position. Dalvin Cook's elite, top 3 runner. I think he's 3rd. He is going to be more of a receiver this year. I don't think he cannot get too many carries this year because he has had some injury issues, but he's been a little more consistent with staying on the field the past couple of years. But, of course, in 2020, he had that huge breakout year. In 2020, he was one, I'd say, other than Derrick Henry, he's the best back in the league, obviously. But, and not only that, though, he's really not had that much of the receiving role except in 2019. He's going to really see what he can do there. He almost had 2,000 scrimmage yards last year. Almost at, which is crazy. But, yeah, Dalvin Cook's elite. Alexander Mattison, and he has really good change of direction, and he has very underrated speed. He's faster than a lot of people think. He's really fast. Alexander Mattison, top 5 backup in the NFL. He can start in a lot of places. Basically, Dalvin Cook just not as good and has a little more power and can stay on the field longer. Keenan Nwangu, basically a returner, but really shifty. Ty Chandler, of course, of North Carolina. He struggled a lot last year being the number 1 guy there in North Carolina, but he's really good out of the backfield, and he really has good power, so that's what we get with him. This is an elite running back room. A+, you can't really get much better than this. That's just the truth about it. Like, 20 out of 20. Time for this wide receiver position. Okay. Justin Jefferson, you could literally, in a way, they might use him as Cooper Kupp. We don't know for sure. Brett Coleman did make a video about that, so if you want to go see that, you can. But Justin Jefferson, best 2 years for two-year start to a career. He's elite. 3rd best receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. Adam Thielen, really good red zone threat still. I still think he has the potential to still get over the top at times. Definitely is regressing, but he needs to. I think he can do that. Really good underneath guy anyway, though. KJ Osborne, really good red zone threat again. All these guys can score in the red zone. But KJ Osborne's more that run after catch guy, the guy who can run pretty solid routes, and he's pretty raw too. Amir Smith-Marset, it's his year. He needs to be really good this year. Ton of speed, but he really needs to work on his. I think his release is getting better. BC Johnson hasn't really done much in the NFL yet. Of course, this is his 4th year. He'll need to go this year, but in the limited action we saw, he was able to catch the ball pretty well. Good hands. Jalen Naylor, why do I think he's a rookie? Is he a rookie? Oh, yeah, 6th-round pick. Michigan State. Jalen Naylor's kind of a bum because he did get kind of shut down by, he got absolutely, clamped by Daxton Hill in that game they played. But he's not bad. Albert Wilson, he started as well, too. So, overall, this receiving core is a good amount of depth, but Jalen Naylor's definitely someone you'd want to look out for because when you don't have a good guy on him, he's kind of like Amari Cooper. He's going to kind of burn him. I don't know if I can give him A tier. Justin Jefferson's so good. I'll give him an A- because the receiving core, other than him, it's decent. It's not great, but when you have Justin Jefferson, it's kind of hard not to give him A tier. A- for that receiving core. Cannot give him A though because it's not that. It really isn't that great at all. But because one of those guys is down, they are a little screwed. But they've always really gotten open for Kirk Cousins, which is huge. So I'll give him that 19.33 out of 20. Time for this tight end position. Okay, Irv Smith Jr. is the #1 guy here. He has struggled to stay on the field. Last year when he got to play, he looked pretty good, I'll be honest with you. His run blocking is terrible. He cannot run block for his life. Just can't. That's why his PFF grade isn't going to be great. But trust me, he can still get down the field. He's pretty good vertically. In 2020, that was my bad. But I think that's fair. But he can't really run block. That's the one problem. But he's back. He'll be good to go. I hope he will be. Because what was the injury? I forgot what his injury was. I really did. It was something. Yeah, knee injury. That's what I thought. He screwed up his knee really bad. It wasn't I don't think it was an ACL. He really screwed up. Johnny Mutt, blocking bad receiving tight end, but he's good at blocking tight end. You don't want him as your backup, I'll put it that way. But he's not bad. The rest of the guys are bums. This tight end room is really bad in terms of just overall. Okay, CJ Ham kind of helps out. I'll give him a C- because CJ Ham, this dude works harder than anyone in the NFL. I'm willing to say that pretty comfortably. He just does everything so, he plays with such a good aggression. Not only that, though, but he works his tail off. I know that. So he kind of replaces that tight end position as well. Overall, this is a pretty bad tight end room. Can't give him D. I'll give him a D+. But CJ Ham does help out. He's kind of like a 3rd tight end, but still, D+, because they're just bad. 2+, 4, 6 out of 15. Pretty darn bad. Time for his offensive line. Okay, Christian Darrisaw, really good rookie year. I think he has lots to be desired, though, especially in the pass blocking. Because there were points in the season where I'm like, sheesh, he's really good. His PFF grade says it, too. In the stats played as, I wouldn't say a backup, but not as definitely in a starter. What? Oh, that's my bad. Whatever. Yeah, he's decent. Then Blake Brandel, I don't know much about this dude. I don't think he's really played at all, so we'll see what he can do as a backup. Heirs to Cleveland, he's not great. Not the worst, but he's not great at all. Dakota Dozier, if you didn't know, he started from him last year. He's probably the worst starter in the league. Chris Reed, I like Chris Reed a lot. 7th season, really good backup. He's really good at run blocking. That's been his whole career, but what's plagued him is going up against these guys that have really quick hands, especially in pass blocking. Never been the guy for him. He's more of a power run blocker. Garrett Bradbury, I don't love him, but Garrett Bradbury's not a bad center. Look at his statistics to prove it. PFF grade is not great, I'll be honest with you. 8 penalties, 2 sacks given up. But in run blocking, he's not bad. He's pretty good. Austin Schultman, really good at sustaining blocks, but he's not. It's when he gets his hands on him. If he can get his hands on him. When he can't do that, he's kind of screwed. Jesse Davis. Jesse Davis was honestly pretty bad last year, but the year before he wasn't bad. So we'll see what he can do. He's really he has really good agility. I'll be honest with you, he can move really well, but that doesn't really help when you're going up against guys that are just huge sometimes. So yeah, Ed Ingram, he was 2nd-round pick for a reason at LSU. I don't love Ed Ingram really at all. The one thing though is he's super athletic. Ed Ingram is really athletic. That's why I got picked there. But I don't like him as a prospect, just for the fact he's super raw. That's why he's backing up, but still. Brian O'Neill, probably the best offensive lineman on this team. He's decent, but he has been solid his whole career. Like, yeah. Okay, that's this offensive line. Meh, that's all. Okay, offensive line. C, it's decent. It's basically dead average because the depth isn't great. The starters are decent, but it's not great really at all. I can't give them a D tier though, because they block well. They block well. They create some gaps. They're actually pretty good in for penetration in both aspects. And their pass blocking is somewhat sustainable, but they don't really do anything that well. And overall, I'll give like a 9 out of 15. Tabs overall offensive grade and average. Okay, so the points comes out to 78 out of 100, which is B minus in the range, but in the average comes out to B. I think they're B plus offense because, like, my bad. My bad about that. Okay, team stats, passing or scoring. Yeah, we'll just go to scoring. Not 2022, 2021. Okay. Or is it yardage? Well, you know what? We'll just go to reference. Okay, we're here. What is it? Okay, we're here. Player stats. No, I don't want player stats. Okay, this linebacking core, starting out with Eric Hendricks, he's elite. Not as good as he used to be, but he's still really good in pass coverage. Tackling has gone down a little bit, but he's still really good. Jordan Nix, really solid, does his job. Not really particularly great in anything, but he gets the job done. So, like, yeah. Troy Dye, meh, not a bad backup, though. Brian Esmela, 2022 third round pick, high from Oklahoma. He was literally that shutdown guy at tight ends, but he did struggle at some times with the fast tight ends, so we'll see if he can still be there. And his tackling needs to improve. But yeah, that's his linebacking core. Okay, greatest linebacking core. I can't give him a B plus, but I'll give him a B because Eric Hendricks is really good. He's still getting older, and they have some good depth. And I do think Jordan Hicks is still pretty good, so I get him a B. But is this a little underrated? Yeah, maybe. But we gotta think these guys aren't as good as they used to be. That's just kind of how you have to picture it. So 3.67 plus 12 is 15.67 out of 20. Pretty good. Not like elite, but it's good. Time for. Why am I keep kicking the action button? Time for this defensive line. Okay, this defensive line does leave a little bit to be desired, but like Dalvin Tomlinson's good. He's not great. He's been solid his whole career. Good at getting after quarterback. Good at stopping the run. Not elite. He's probably better pass rusher, but still. James Lynch, pure. I mean it. He is literally a pure run stopper. He just is. He got a sack because he bowled through a guy, but James Lynch is not bad by any means as a backup, but that's literally what he is. Harrison Phillips, kind of the same thing, except Harrison Phillips is a little bit below par. As a nose tackle, you expect this dude to be able to really hold his own, but he really wasn't able to at some times. That was 2 years ago. What am I saying? Last year was actually good. My bad. I don't think I've watched film from him last year, but yeah, he was good. Because I'm always focusing on the other guys on the Bills. Dang. Whatever. Harrison Phillips was, I guess, good last year. Armin Watts, really good at getting after quarterback. His pass rush ability is, up there in terms of, potential and what he's done so far. But his run, his being able to hold his own and really hold those blocks and not getting thrown around. Not only that, though, but even be able to create penetration for the linebackers is not there. That's just how it is. That's why he's not really considered as a really good defensive end or in the interior, but he can really get better in that run defense. I think it'll be really good. Jonathan Ballard. I keep confusing this guy with another guy. He's bad. Like, he's just a decent backup, I guess. He's actually been good in training camp so far, or in practice, whatever you want to call it. But other than that, not great. TJ Smith, I wouldn't say he's a rookie, I guess, but see what he can do. Okay, defensive line, C+. No, I'll give him a B- because the depth is there, and I do think they have decent starters. It's just not really too great, but it's actually better than you could hope for, really. Comes out to 15.33 out of 20, pretty good. Time for this, or my bad, not that. It's not that. 3.33 plus 8 is 11.33 out of 15. Time for this pass rush, which is really good. Okay. Darius Smith is the presumable number 1 because he really didn't play at all last year because of an injury. But he was really good in the playoff game against the 49ers, and in 2020 he was elite. Danielle Hunter, through 2019, he was considered as the best player. He was Hall of Fame caliber. Like, he could have 190 sacks, something crazy like that. Then in 2020 and 2021, he just dealt with a ton of injuries. He was out for the whole season last year, but coming into this year, he needs to step it up. Like, he needs to be really good because people want to see what he was from that a couple years ago. Patrick Jones, extremely disappointing last year. He really struggled a lot, and he didn't really get much playing time at all. He had struggled with injuries as well. But Patrick Jones, coming into 2022, needs to be better. Out of Pittsburgh, he was their best defensive player. He needs to prove that he can be that pass rusher. TJ Watt, solid pass rusher. Not great, but he's solid. Can definitely be that number 1 guy because he is able to, not a number 1 guy. Good number 2 compliment. And he's really good with his finesse moves, and he's really good second move. His first move isn't anything special, or his first step, but he gets it done, so that's what it is. And like I said, Armand Watts, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Harrison Phillips. My bad. Harrison Phillips kind of can, but yeah, they have like 6 guys I think they can get a quarterback. And Chaz Surratt as well can get a quarterback as well, even though that's not really his primary position anymore, but maybe. Janarius Robinson, 4th round pick in 2021, got literally no playing time, practice squad guy. Maybe he gets some plays, but they got 6 legitimate guys, which is really important. I like this pass rush a lot. Okay, there's 2 things keeping him from giving him A tier. Number 1, the firepower isn't what it was like in 2019. That and the fact that I struggled considering that Darius Smith and Danielle Hunter will be healthy the whole season. I just struggle with that. I could be very underrating him here, but I gotta give him a B+. I don't want to give him a B+, but I have to because I have to restrain myself from saying these guys will be healthy the whole season, and just it's kind of watered down like it was in 2019. But it's a really electric duo, so yeah. Time for this quarterback position. Okay, Patrick Peterson. We realized solid. Like, he's not great. He's not gonna be great, but he's a good veteran. Yeah, that's what he is now. Cameron Dantzler. He's been, like, wild in his career, like, super wild. He's never been a good in coverage, really. And in the secondary, and when you just need a guy who can just be good, like, just good. Like, he doesn't need to be great, but good. He just hasn't been that yet. Shannon Sullivan, awful. Like, so bad. Like, he gets burned so much. Yeah, he had 3 interceptions last year. Kind of like the what is it called? Trayvon Diggs deal. He just is not good. That's just the truth. And Andrew Booth Jr., really good in the red zone, really good length, really good size as well. Like, yeah, 6'9", 194, but he plays like he's bigger. Not only that, though, he can play. He's got really good ball skills. Really needs to work on being able to get downfield faster. Really needs to be better with hip fluidity, but he's still a really good player. Chris Boyd, I like Chris Boyd a little bit, but I think I got to realize that this dude just isn't great. Because at Texas, he was really good. But I got to realize he just isn't as good. And they just don't really have a slot corner right now, if you didn't know. Maybe Cam Dantzler will be, but this is not the greatest cornerback room, to say the least. On paper, it's like a C+, but I gotta give him a C- because it's just not good. They have 3 guys that I think are decent, but they don't have a number 1. And Andrew Booth Jr. is a rookie. You gotta remember that as well. Can I give him D tier? No, because they're not gonna be that bad, but still, and on paper, it's not the worst. But like I said, they're just not good. Okay, we got 9 plus 2.33 is 11.33 out of 20. Time for this safety core. Okay, Harrison Smith is getting older. He's not as good as he was before. Like, we got to realize that. He's getting older. But he's still playing at a pretty good level. Don't see me overreact there because I don't think personally he played that great last year. He wasn't bad by any means, but I think his coverage is dropping down a little, like 77.9, not the greatest. But he still can play so well in the box. He was the best safety in the NFL a couple years ago. Cameron Bynum, I like Cameron Bynum. 21 for fourth round pick for a reason, like Kyle. This dude's really fast, really good ball hawk. He just doesn't really like, you need the safety who can tell, like, really read the quarterback. He's still not there yet. That's why they brought in Lewis, who's literally a do-it-all. Like, he can do everything. But he's not great in coverage. He's not great. So, we'll see. That's probably why they're keeping him here. And his tackling needs to be toned down a little bit because the way he hits guys, is just not really proper. I don't know how to put it. Like, if it works in the NFL, it works, but it could end up getting him hurt or someone else hurt, or he can miss a tackle. That's why it's just not there just yet. But I like these safeties. I don't think they're great, but whatever. It's good. Grading safeties, B. I think they're very underrated, and not only that though, but Harrison Smith still is a really good player. Like I said, getting up there in age, of course, but still, he's pretty darn good. Cameron Bynum and Lewis, both very young and very good. Cameron Bynum does need to work on his tackling. Same thing with Lewis, but Cameron Bynum, coming this year, it's his year. We'll see what he can do. Okay, that comes out to 3.67. 3.67 plus 12. 15.67 out of 20. Depth is there, but we'll see what they can do. Time for this overall defensive average and grade. Okay, so the average comes out to a B, and the points comes out to a C. 74 out of 100. I think that's better. This defense is not good. It's just not. But they're even worse than a C, if we're being completely honest. They're like D, or D, D plus. They're not very good. But on paper, they're like a C because the secondary is not great. The safeties I like. The reason I'm giving them a B is because I think they'll be good, but they just might not be. And the defensive line, it's decent. Like, it's good. Linebackers are good, but I don't know if they're going to be reliable. Passers are solely based on if Daniel Hunter can be healthy. If he can't be healthy, they're not going to be great. Like, because Zadarius Smith is, like, needs a second guy. Like, he's not going to be great if he doesn't have another guy. It's how it's been. But, yeah, C is what I'm going to give them. I think that's pretty fair. I don't know. They're just never that great. They were really good in 2019, but I don't know if they're ever that good. They could be, but who knows. Time for this special teams unit, though. Okay, Greg Joseph. It's kind of a conundrum. He's the most unreliable kicker in the NFL, but he's not the worst. By me is not the worst. He's pretty consistent. He can't hit extra points for his life though, and he has pretty big leg though. I'll be honest with you there. Pretty inconsistent. Can't hit an extra point, and he's super unreliable. But he can win you a football game, so that's good. I don't know about, he can lose you a game too. That's not great, though. Jordan Berry, he's so overrated. He just doesn't have a leg. He's pretty accurate, but he just doesn't have any leg. He's never had a leg in his career. But I wouldn't say he's bad at all. Amir Smith-Marset, fumbles a lot of the time, but Keen Nwangwu makes up for it with being the most intriguing, and other than, like, Deontay Harris and Cordell Patterson, he's the best returner in the NFL. Andrew Dupola, he's decent long snapper. He's made some really good long snaps. He's long snapper for some really good kickers, but it's like it's not really great. But Keen Nwangwu is pretty good. I don't know, give him a C because they don't really. The special teams unit isn't really that great, but they have some really bad moments and really good moments. It comes out to like a C. Comes out to what is it called? 5.67 out of 10. What is that? 3 plus 2.67? That makes sense. Time for this overall team depth grade. Okay. Depth. Quarterback depth. My bad. Running back depth. A plus. Well, not A plus. Yeah, A minus. Because I don't know about the third guy. Wide receiver depth. C plus. Tight end depth, F. Offensive line depth, C minus. Overall offensive depth, I gotta give it like a C because there's some good positions. It's kind of lacking. Linebacker depth, B. I think they have good linebacker depth. Defensive line depth, C plus. Pass rush depth, B. Cornerback depth, D minus. It's really bad. Safety depth, B minus. Overall defensive depth, C minus. Overall team depth, C minus. It's really unreliable when they don't have a good. Like, I don't know about their backups. That's just my truth on it. Like, some good positions, some really bad positions, and some meh positions. So C minus is what I'll give them. Comes out to a. Let's see, 12 plus. 2.33 is 14.33 out of 25. Not good. Time for overall roster grade. Okay, the Vikings roster grade this season. The points comes out to 172 out of 235, which comes out to a B minus. Let's see. Do they deserve a B minus or a B? Their depth is not great. They have some really good positions, but it's kind of top heavy. So I'll give them a B minus. They got firepower though. You know, I'll give them a B because they have a lot more stars than a lot of other teams. They have firepower, which is really why I'm giving them a B. They don't deserve it, but the fact they have some firepower and I like their roster is why I'm giving them a B. But see what they can do in the regular season. You guys get a B, pretty generous B. But yeah, really good, pretty good roster in Minnesota. See you guys in the regular season. Like, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy. See you in the next video.
Here's the handoff. Swift trying to get downhill. Swift breaks away. DeAndre Swift. Touchdown, Lions. 57 yards.